Good morning or afternoon, whichever the case may be. I would like to welcome you to another City of Sacramento safety training program. Today we'll be discussing the topic of hearing conservation and how you can protect yourself against the hazard of occupational noise. If there are hazardous noise levels in the workplace, Cal OSHA requires employers to have a hearing conservation program. This would be determined by testing the area in question through the use of sound level meter surveys. This would help to identify job tasks or work areas that fall under this standard and require controls to be implemented. As of November of 2013, there were more than 212,000 reported cases associated with hearing loss among full-time workers in all industries. This includes both state and local government agencies. Approximately 30 million workers are exposed to hazardous noise on the job on an annual basis. Noise-induced hearing loss is one of the most common occupational diseases and the second most self-reported occupational illness or injury. Before we go too much further, here's a pop quiz. Which of the following is louder? A full sports stadium, or a jet engine? In 2013, in Seattle, Washington, on Monday Night Football, the fans of the Seattle Seahawks set a noise record for the loudest outdoor sports stadium, topping their mark they set earlier that same year. The official from Guinness World Records recorded the crowd noise at 137.6 decibels during the Seahawks' win over the New Orleans Saints. To put this in perspective, a jet engine that's 100 feet off the ground is about 140 decibels. Now that is loud. Some of the issues we can experience with loud noise include instructions may not be heard clearly. Noise can be very distracting and, believe it or not, can also cause fatigue. High noise levels can cause hearing loss. Communication can be decreased to a hazardous level. And high noise levels can be the cause of increased stress levels. Some of the symptoms people can experience from hearing loss can include noise or ringing in the ears, losing the ability to hear different pitches and frequency ranges, trouble hearing people when they are speaking to you, although sometimes this is considered selective hearing, and having to increase the volume of your TV or radio in order to hear it clearly. Repeated exposures may lead to a permanent damage to the ear and permanent irreversible hearing loss. Cal OSHA has set the level of action for noise level hazards at 85 decibels. Therefore, when a noise level reaches this level or higher, it is the city's responsibility to monitor employees and work areas to determine whether or not the noise level extends beyond the permissible exposure limit for the time-weighted average of 8 hours. When the noise level does exceed this limitation, controls need to be put in place. The first control that we would consider would be engineering controls. For example, putting a muffler on a car is an engineering control to quiet the car down to an acceptable level. Next, administrative controls may be considered to lessen the amount of time the worker is exposed to loud noise levels. This could be accomplished through the use of job rotation practices. And lastly, personal protective equipment is issued in the form of hearing protection. The Cal/OSHA permissible exposure limit, or PEL, is the average noise an employee is exposed to for an 8-hour day. The Cal/OSHA PEL is set at 90 decibels for a time-weighted average of 8 hours. The elements of a hearing conservation program would be implemented if the action level is suspected in the work area. At this time, monitoring should be put into action for all affected personnel as well as the area in question. This process should also be repeated anytime major changes occur concerning noise levels. An audiometric testing program is also required. This is provided by the employer at no cost for employees. Your first audiometric test is considered your baseline test, and all future tests will be compared to these results to note any changes in your hearing. Audiometric testing is to be repeated on an annual basis, and these results will always be available to the employee immediately following the test. If any change in hearing or threshold shift is noticed, action must be taken to help prevent any further shift in the employee's hearing. This brings us to the prevention measures that can be taken to help eliminate potential threshold shifts in an employee's hearing. This is hearing protection, and it must be made available for all employees who are exposed to levels of noise that exceed the permissible exposure limitation. Additionally, part of a hearing conservation program is the enforcement of the rules and the policies set forth in the program. Employers are responsible to enforce the required hearing protection use. The primary function of hearing protectors is to bring the levels of hazardous noise down to an acceptable level. This is why it's important to make sure the hearing protection you are using has a high enough noise reduction rating to successfully accomplish this task. The noise reduction rating, or NRR for short, is the way to measure the amount of protection your hearing protection is providing. Here are a couple examples of hearing protectors. The one on the left is a hearing protection headband. These are very common in work areas that have noise levels that are just a little over the PEL and will normally supply sufficient protection. These are also very convenient because you can wear them around your neck and then put them in your ears as needed. But when noise levels get a little higher, the earplugs on the right would be a better choice. These have a noise reduction rating of 33 and can lower noise levels that are much higher. This would be recommended if you work with equipment that ranges over 100 decibels. For even higher noise levels, you can combine earplugs with a pair of earmuffs for even better protection. Earplugs are a great tool for hearing protection, providing that they're used correctly. In order to properly fit your earplugs is a very easy task. Simply roll the earplug into a small crease-free cylinder, then hold your ear with the opposite hand and pull up and away from your head. This will straighten your ear canal. Inserting the earplug into the ear canal and hold it in place until it expands. And here's the tricky part. If the earplug isn't in far enough, it won't do the job it's intended to do. And if it's in too far, you've got even bigger problems. Just place the plug into the ear far enough to where you feel it going into the ear canal, and then let it expand. Fitting yourself for a proper fit with earmuffs is also very important. The earmuff cup needs to be in good condition. Make sure the cups are not torn or cracked. This is what gives a good seal for hearing protection. Make sure your eyeglasses or safety glasses don't obstruct the seal for your earmuffs. Adjust the headband of the earmuffs so that the cup will align properly with the ears. This will also give you the best fit for maximum protection. Now we're going to watch a short video about some of the myths that people use to avoid wearing hearing protection.
Here are 5 false beliefs or myths that lead to hearing damage. How many of them do you believe? I can build up a resistance to noise. My ears will get toughened up so they won't get hurt. Wrong. There's no way to build up a resistance to noise. Excess noise damages the cells and nerves of the ear. None can be repaired or replaced. Continuing exposure results in more damage, not toughening. Myth number 2. Noise can't hurt me unless it's painfully loud. Wrong. Noise becomes hazardous around 85 decibels and might only begin to cause pain at much louder levels around 140 decibels. In between is a large range of dangerous noise levels. Myth number 3. I can duck in and out of a noisy place before it can affect my ears. Not true. Noise that is loud enough can damage the ears instantly. Also, many short exposures can add up and cause damage similar to continuous exposure. Myth number 4. My hearing will probably come back after I stay away from noise for a while. Fact, your hearing will never come back once the ear is permanently damaged. Myth number 5. Even if I lose some hearing, I can get hearing aids and my hearing will go back to normal, just like my eyeglasses work for my eyes. Wrong. Hearing aids don't work as well as glasses. At best, hearing aids will restore some ability to understand conversation and experience the sounds around you, but they don't sound normal. Here are some sources of hazardous noise. Noisy equipment around the house like lawnmowers, power tools, even some vacuum cleaners can damage your hearing. A continuous noise level of 85 decibels is known to damage your hearing. This is the same sound level of heavy road traffic. Compressed air hammers have a sound level of about 100 decibels and rock concerts almost always reach 110 to 120 decibels. This same sound intensity can easily be produced in earbuds and headsets when you listen to your music. Researchers tested several different portable music players. They found that these little handheld players could deliver sound levels between 90 and 130 decibels. When custom earpieces other than those provided with the players were used, the sound levels reached as high as 150 decibels, which is the same noise level of a 747 jet with its engines at full throttle. Protect your hearing, and it will protect you.
Okay, that is going to wrap up today's training. I will now try to answer any questions that you might have. If you haven't already gone out to have your audiometric hearing test, please make sure that you do that. Just protect yourself. Be safe out there and have a great day.